I'm reviled and I want to be an oatmeal chef. I guess you could say I have gruel ambition. Fresh and buds now.
Fresh and
All right, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of Fresh and Buds. I'm your host, Tommy Fresh, and you are all my buds. It is episode 221. I am joined happily by Arthur Trehet, Pro Tour champion. How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tommy. Doing pretty good. Just came back from holidays. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, of course. Very happy to have you on. You know, just really just excited to talk with you. I had talked with our mutual friend Enki, a couple of months ago, and definitely Enki's like, you should get Arthur on. I'm like, I would love to, and here we are. Shout out to Enki, who is just an awesome
great friend.
bud. Yes,
and great player as well. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about you, hopefully. Definitely, actually.
Okay,
we'll be talking about you. Get to know you a little bit. And then I do want to get your opinion on LL because it's been a little crazy, I think.
Yeah.
With Living Legend and I'm not playing a lot and I'm not playing in Worlds, so I don't really have to prep as much. You are someone who has to prep, and I'm sure it could be a little bit stressful, so I want to talk about that. But before we do, let's get to know you. When did you start playing cards and Flesh and Blood in general?
Okay. I started playing cards quite young with Yu-Gi-Oh! I was playing when I was maybe 6 or 7, not sure. But then I played like Hearthstone at the beginning, and I played competitively first when I was like 17, so that would be 9 years ago. Or 8 years ago, with a French game. It was called Cross Maga. And then after that, I played Legends of Runeterra, and I had also decent results in competition. And after that, Flesh and Blood. In Flesh and Blood, I started like 2.5 years ago.
Now, this French game I've never heard of. What was that like?
It's a weird game. It's like a mix between a card game and a board game a little bit. You play monsters in. You have the like 5 lanes where you can play them, and if you go to the end of the lane, you will destroy one of your opponent's eggs, basically, and you need to destroy 2 true eggs to win the game. And there are like 3 true eggs, 2 false. You have to get so there's a bit of mind game. It's really fun, but well, it's been dead since a long time now. But yeah.
Yeah, what was the name of it again? I'm sorry.
Cross Maga. It's a game coming from a French company that makes other games. Which the most famous is Dofus. But yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I know there's been a couple lane-based games that have popped up from time to time, and it's always a really interesting like system. Did you like that system? Would you like to see some of that? More in card games?
I think it was a really great game, to be honest, and I like the system. Now I'm not sure if it should be reproduced, but yeah, it was really fun.
Awesome. And you got into Flesh and Blood. What made you take the leap into Flesh and Blood?
So when I ended playing Legends of Runeterra, it was both because I felt like the game was dying a bit competitively, and also because I was just a bit fed up with it because I just had made a big tournament and lost. I had a very hard loss to digest. Like I lost in quarterfinals of the Worlds on a Miss Lethal from myself. And it was just really, really hard to take it and to continue playing. I was disgusted and I stopped. So then I was like a bit of time after I was looking for other games to try, and I just saw some tweet from a Runeterra player about Flesh and Blood, so I started.
Yeah, and we have quite a few Runeterra players that came over to the game.
Yeah.
most notably Majin Bay, but you know,
Mhm.
some really great players. But well, now I have to ask, not to like bring up old wounds, but what about the Miss Lethal do you
Yeah.
think made you say, you know what, I gotta look at something else?
Sorry, what
Uh,
was again was the
Yeah,
question?
like about that Miss Lethal
Yeah.
that you had in the Runeterra worlds. What about that instance made you want to look at other card games?
Uh, it was just I didn't want to play Legends of Runeterra anymore because it was hard mentally to play it after this big mistake.
Hmm.
It was not like um something I thought I should change or I wanted to. It was just I didn't want to play the game anymore. I was a bit I don't know how to say in English, but disgusted by the like.
Makes
It reminded me like bad experience, so I didn't want to play it anymore.
that makes sense. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, coming from some games I played, there are certain levels of things that happened to me that I was definitely just fed up, I think, with whatever
Yeah.
was going on. I think it's probably the best way I could explain it, but I get that totally. Now, Flesh and Blood is I mean, I think one of the obviously I make a lot of content for the game, but it has one of the greatest game systems
Yeah, I agree.
in card games. Could you see yourself, getting disgusted with this game? Because right now you're a household name. You've had a lot of success, and people look to you when you're playing in a tournament.
Could I get fed up with it? Right now, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think they make a lot of efforts to make the competitive scene enjoyable as players. That's feels really great. Also, the scene is really. I think Flash Melody is getting more and more audience, and I think the game is fun to play. It's uh, getting renewed pretty much, like pretty well, I think. And the competitive scene is great, so I don't see myself getting fed up too quick, to be honest.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And from what I hear in France, you guys have a great community. How have you
Yeah.
found the French community, and how it's kind of raised, up some great players and some, really positive vibes, I think, in the game.
Yeah. I think indeed the French community is pretty big. I have a lot of good friends there. There's also a lot of help between the players. I think it's pretty gathered, or I'm not sure how to say that, but yeah. And there are definitely some great players. Like recently, they have been doing very well. We have had Evan who won a calling, Enki who went finalist at Worlds, Paul Escoffier who went semi-finalist at no, not at Worlds, sorry, at Pro Tour
Mhm.
Singapore. And yeah, we have other, of course, we have a lot of other great players, but yeah, I think the community is both good, help each other, and very friendly. So I like it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, it's clear that you're a good card game player, right? Not only in this game, but in other games. But I want to know if you ever kind of look at yourself and say, all right, these are the skills that I possess that help me become a
Mm.
good card game player. Because I think sometimes personally it's important to know your strengths. Do you know what it is, if there's anything in particular that you can point out that you
Mm.
possess that makes you such a great player?
Um, for example, I've always liked math and probabilities. I think probabilities help me a little bit in card games. For sure, it helped me both making. I mean, I would say it's not about like calculating exactly your odds or whatever, but just taking the line sorry, the play that gives you the most odds. So you just have to compare things between each other, which is the most likely to happen. I think so. I can do that pretty well. That's a good strength, I would say. And then I'm not sure. I think I'm pretty good at deck building, good at drafting, but it's not like um something outside of a card game, or like a skill that's not only about card games. So I'm not sure. I would say probabilities for sure, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, with Flesh and Blood, math is huge, right? I mean, it's huge in any card
Yeah,
game, but being good at math
true.
and understanding math is very important. And when you talk about probabilities and kind of, right, it's exactly what you're saying. You're not calculating the exact probability. You are making educated guesses on what you can perceive to be the probability in that moment. And I think about your win at Pro Tour LA, right? That was just people LSS still uses those videos to like hype up people for the competitive scene, which is awesome.
Hmm.
And I got to ask, you've had some great moments in the game, right? Just competitively. What would you say are like your like top 3 Arthur Trehet moments just you always think about when you think about Flesh and Blood and yourself?
Yeah. I mean, for sure, the top one has to be the the finals of the Pro Tour Los Angeles with the sigil draw, and also like just the moment itself. Yeah, and then top 2 and top 3 it would be more difficult because I've had like a lot of great moments. I think making top 8 in Singapore as well was really nice because I had great friends there. I had Enki, who was top 8ing with me, Thomas Kofi as well, also Michael Hamilton. So I had great friends. It just felt great to top 8 again, a Pro Tour, and or to do it with friends, even better. And then the third, there are lots of moments, but I would say the team trio battle hardened. We won. Like there was an event in France, in Paris, not so long ago, and it was a battle hardened in team trio that we won with my friends. It was also just great to be with your friends, also with the French community. It was really nice tournament.
Yeah, well, the team events are so much fun because
Yeah,
you're
so
really
much.
yeah. We should get some more LSS. That would be really neat.
I agree.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, the sigil draw was crazy, and just thinking
Yeah,
about winning with your friends is great, and just being in company with your friends, you're just like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
we all made it. We're there's
Yeah,
almost like a sigh of relief at that point because then you're within comfort zone, which is nice.
yeah, exactly.
Now, when the sigil draw, I gotta ask. Watching the video back, you were calm, cool, collected. What was going through your mind? Because I don't know if I would have been able to stay so calm in that moment.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't so calm. I think like in the quarterfinals and semifinals, I was calm. In the final, I was not calm at all. I was really, really stressed. Yeah, and I want to say something I forgot. Sorry, what was the question?
Well, what was going through your mind when you saw that sigil? Um,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I saw the sigil, I was like, okay, now, of course, when he attacks with dominate, I'm like, okay, I have 1 out in my deck. It's sigil Solas. I have to play Sing Below to get it. And then when I drew it, I was like, okay, I have to look as calm as possible because if my opponent notices something, he might
mhm,
just not go face after this first attack. He might just attack the Chromai, who was going to give me the victory. And if he attacks Chromai, then I cannot kill my opponent. I don't have any more Ash, so I'm actually just gonna pass.
mhm.
And so I was like, okay, I need to stay as calm as possible, and I need my opponent to hit me and not the dragon. And so I like, okay, try to look normal.
Yeah, well, you did it, and it was very impressive. So that's awesome. Love to hear. I mean, golly, when I saw that, I was like, holy moly! I mean, that was just so much fun. It's I think it is the greatest game of Flesh and Blood ever played. To be honest, because that was just 2 great opponents, and
Mhm.
and then an awesome finish. That
Yeah,
it could have
and very
gone.
close game too.
Yeah, very close. Could have gone any
Yeah,
way. Like you said, if you portrayed a little bit of that, like, hey, I got the sigil, things could have changed drastically
yeah,
in that matchup, which
yeah.
is neat. Now, Worlds is coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about LL in a minute, but how's your CC prep for Worlds been? Because we've been in the. You said you were on holiday, but we've been,
Mhm.
in the throes of the PQ season, so we're getting a lot of data and
Yeah.
kind of getting a feel for how this meta is being. How's the prep going? How do you feel about this meta? Are you excited?
Well, of course, I'm excited to play Worlds. That's gonna be a great tournament, the biggest of the year. So yeah, of course. How I haven't prepped a lot CC because yeah, I was on holiday. So the last time I really played like I really had to play competitively was in calling Hamburg, and since then I've tried a bit of decks that I would consider to be like that have a bit of potential, but are not super like my main picks or my main. I don't know the deck that I think the most I will probably play.
Mhm.
So I've tried like a bit of side decks, but I haven't really prepped the deck that I think I will bring. I haven't looked into it that much or like tried to optimize the side cards and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So yeah.
you're coming up with. You mentioned that you'll be going to the states a little bit early, so you'll be working on it over there, which is fun in itself because you get to kind
Yeah.
of figure out the puzzle. But yeah, well, we're all going to be excited to watch. Everybody play, but eyes are definitely on you. And a lot of the French players. So it's France is like sneaking up. Is like this is kind of the powerhouse country that we need to look out for because like Worlds is like kind of has that like extra competitiveness like between
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the
True.
nations. So
True.
you
True.
know
True.
we'll be expecting to see the French invasion come. So
Yeah.
it should be cool. Now this next segment is called the Fresh Faves. I'm going to be asking you a couple of your favorite
Mhm.
cards in the game,
Okay.
and hopefully you answer. First, Arthur, who is your
Yeah.
favorite hero in Flesh and Blood?
Um, I have, of course, I love Dromai, but also I think I really like Icelander too. I really like the design of the hero. Um, and then I also really like Gravy Bones. I think I would say Icelander,
Okay,
just
cool.
because of the design of playing blues from your arsenal every turn, having access to Waning Moon and cards like Cold Snap that really make it use of both the weapon, the arsenal thing, the frostbites. It was really fun for the hero.
Awesome. Yeah, great answer. I was thinking you'd say Dromai, but Icelander, hey, listen, we'll get the allies out of there,
Yeah.
We'll, we'll give some love to Icelander. Next, what is your favorite weapon?
Uh, I would have to say Waning Moon then. Yeah, Waning Moon is just really nice to play around. Of course, in Icelander, but even in Verdance right now, it's still playable. Um, yeah, I like this Waning Moon. Being able to chip your opponent between their turn and finish them with Striders.
Yeah, it's it's like tale as old as time. I could probably I've lost count the amount of times I've lost to that card on my turn, which is
Yeah.
always fun. What is your favorite equipment?
Oof. Equipment. I think I really like the Runeblade's boots. What's the name again? The ones
Spellbound
that get into an action
creepers.
point. Yeah, Spellbound Creepers. These are really, really fun to use, and they're completely broken as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really
Uh,
enjoyable boots.
yeah. That one's a common answer on
Yeah.
this segment from guests.
I also like the Brute ones.
Scabskin?
Yeah, Scabskins. It's just really nice to roll.
Yeah. Well, we got to see you playing some brute soon. That would be fun, right?
Mhm.
Now, what's your favorite card that goes into your deck?
Yeah, that's always has been Sigil of Solace, even before to draw it in the right moment.
Yeah, it's a classic, so understandable. Now, let's say you were transported to the world of Wraith, Arthur.
Hmm.
What class and talent would you be?
Whoa. Uh, I like I'd like to be a parrot, maybe. So I would probably. Oh, that counts as both class and talent. Is it right? Or is it
Yeah.
just a class?
It's
No, that's just a
just a
class.
class. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's just a class. And then talent. Mm, I'm not sure what would represent me the best, but I would like to be ice, maybe.
Ice.
Yeah, just give some pros by ice. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Pirate sounds awesome. So
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll get that at some point after how popular High Seas
maybe. Yeah.
was. Now, in your estimation, Arthur, what is the greatest Flesh and Blood set of all time, based on any metric you want, whether it's aesthetics,
Hmm.
limited, its effect
Hmm.
on constructed, or just like overall design?
Okay. Well, if we combine aesthetics, limited format, and like effect on constructed, I think my favorite is part of the Misval. I think the design was like the aesthetic was great. I love the cards. I think the limited was also very very good. It was the one I enjoyed the most probably, or one of the ones I enjoyed the most, and the first ones to be a really enjoyable limited format, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then constructed, I also really liked the heroes. It was probably a bit too powerful, but it shook things up and it was really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, last week I had Amy from Smashing Good Team on the show, and we were talking about Brute
Yeah.
and talking about how at one point KO was on this speed run to
Hmm.
Living Legend, and then Part the Misfail just
Yeah.
dropped, and it all changed. But
Yeah.
awesome, great answer. Now let's talk about Living Legend because
Yeah.
it is a format, and
Hmm.
you know, and people are playing it. I don't know how many people are playing it,
Yeah.
but it's kind of in this weird spot right now because they just had to do two ban
Yeah.
announcements within a month, right? Leading up to Worlds, and some of the pro quests were Living Legend. I don't think it's that many. Most of the stores seem to have opted for CC because you'd get a better
Yeah.
turnout.
Yeah.
It was interesting to me when they announced that it was going to be a Worlds format. Now, it doesn't really matter much to me because I was not playing in Worlds, but you
Hmm.
are. What were your thoughts when it was announced that LL was going to be the mixed format
Yeah.
at Worlds?
Well, first I was a bit disappointed because LL was not a format I played a lot nor enjoyed a lot. I thought at that moment it was very high variance. Sorry, um, ga- game or very high variance, and then also very not very balanced. And my opinion was that the only reason that we didn't see like only like top eights that were a bit diverse, I think the reason was that people were not playing it and it was not solved.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was high variance and not balanced, and also heroes that I don't know well because I started to play when Starvo and Chain were not legal. So I was not very happy about it. But then, I mean, I was also like, okay, let's try for one time. And then when we see like all competitors trying to solve the format, we'll have a better idea of how it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, there was only like a few callings and stuff, but not a lot of competition. So yeah, that was my uh, feelings at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of questions in the air with the format, especially after these bans, because the bans have been coming at a rapid pace, right?
Hmm.
And you know, people are trying to prepare for this huge tournament, and that can be difficult when a ban drops. Now, they tried to give as much leeway time as
Yeah.
possible, but that can be difficult. So the first ban announcement, I think, was Count Your Blessings was restricted, and then
Yeah, Dirge
Dirge
unrestricted.
unrestricted. Now, flash forward, flash forward a couple weeks later,
Yeah.
Dirge was back to restricted, and then they said Rosetta Thorn, too good.
Also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts there? Because it definitely did seem like it was the Runeblade show.
Yeah. Well, when the unrestricted Dirge, I thought it was a mistake for sure. I like when Dirge was before that. Dirge was restricted. I think RuneGate chain was just really really good and too good. Felt a bit too broken for me. So I was feeling a bit weird about this. They at the same moment they also unrestricted Warmongers though, so that it should I don't know limit Runeblade's power, but it was definitely not enough. And then so I was not very happy about this change, but I was like, okay, at least they're trying to do something to change the meta, which is okay. And then more recently they rebanned or they re-restricted dirges, and I think the timing was not very good. However, they did make it faster than they announced it at first.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the timing was not great, but still better than nothing. And then I think it was pretty good to nerf the rune blades because they were just too good for me. I think Chain Rune Gay was a bit too oppressive, and then also Viscerai and Briar were just really strong picks as well. So yeah, I'm not sure if it will balance the format because now Starvo looks a bit too good too. But at least they tried, and I don't know. I'm happy that the Rune Blades are nerfed.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because outside looking in, right, as someone who doesn't really play the format as much and I'm not prepping, right, I looked at that and I said, wow, you know, us CC players complained about Rosetta Thorn for a long time, and then it got the axe in LL, which was presumably the no ban format. Although that's not feasible, you have to have some bans.
Yeah,
to
it's not
balance it.
feasible.
Yeah. So I'm just curious as to you were on holiday kind of during right in between these bans, so you weren't playing a lot of Flesh and Blood. What? Let's say that second ban didn't happen. Were you just gonna? I mean, you mentioned RuneGate Chain was oppressive.
Yeah, I was gonna play RuneGate Chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's some talk that Viscerai is still quite good. Do you think that is, rather than abandoning the Runeblade thing, are you going to go there, or is Starvo more of an enticing hero, I would say, to play?
Yeah. I'm not sure yet because now the bans have been pretty recent and I haven't had the time to really explore it that much. But without much exploring, I think Starville looks just really strong. Probably one of the best pick, if not the best pick. So I don't know. But yeah, Viscerai could be strong as well. Not sure. I also think he has in the past he had a good matchup into Starvo, for example. So would have to see like the other matchups, but he has at least that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I haven't locked anything for LL nor CC by the way, but Starvo looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is it a bummer to you that and this is something that I could be totally off on, but Dromai, which was a great deck, obviously you won a pro tour on Dromai, doesn't seem to have much of a place in LL, and I guess even Prism, OG Prism doesn't have, I guess, a ton of places there either.
Yeah, I think probably they're a bit too weak for LL because they're still as you said, it was supposed to be the without banned format, and they're just cards that are a bit too good for that, like Skeleton, the chess piece of Runeblades.
Mm-hmm.
Starvo, just the hero text is really really good. So because of cards like Skeleta and the fact that also rune gates were super good and rune gates are very bad for illusionists, it was hard to play them. Maybe with the nerf of rune blades now they're more considerable probably, but I don't know if they're up to the level of the other LL heroes. Yeah. So I was feeling a bit sad that Romai was not playable, but maybe now it is. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Now, the interesting thing also about the format is that I think that they even kind of admitted that they are trying to figure out how to balance it, right? I think it's a tough task because right now I think they're doing a pretty good job with CC. They said, you know what, we're not even going to focus on Blitz anymore. Here's Silver Age,
Yeah.
and but Living Legend is kind of in a difficult spot because you can buff up heroes that are okay in CC or like borderline A tier and bump them into S tier, but then you have the kind of residual effect of giving these already busted heroes in Living Legend like some really great tools.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to take any major measures with Living Legend format after Worlds? Because it's too soon to make any big changes, right?
Yeah, sure.
But afterwards, I think it might have to be a real consideration.
Yeah. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I think, for example, Chain should be a bit like Chain's hero power should be a bit too good for LL. Starvo too. Skeleton, as I was saying, also. I think there are like a lot of cards that are like shaping the meta really strongly, and it wouldn't surprise me if they just decided to actually ban some maybe heroes or cards for heroes, but it wouldn't surprise me, yeah, because yeah, as I said, like for example, illusionists like Dromai or all other heroes that are already like Azealia are just not on the that's just not playable competitively in LL right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. I almost look at it and I'm like, do we need like another level, right? Like if you,
Yeah,
because they kind of pitch it like, oh, here's where you can do the super powerful stuff, but like it kind of gatekeeps other things, right? Unfortunately.
yeah,
I played a lot of Magic. There was Legacy, but there was also Vintage. Vintage was like really crazy stuff, and then Legacy, was a little bit closer down to earth. So you wonder, is like, oh, do we create a Vintage format
yeah,
where like the living legends, like the most legendary heroes exist?
yeah.
It could be it. Now, I do have to ask, Silver Age, they're going to support that with competitive play. Is this something that you're looking at? How do you feel about young hero formats? Silver Age is brand new,
Yeah,
and like it's kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum, right? It's like not very
yeah.
powerful, but you can still do some cool stuff.
I like the idea. First, I like the idea that you can start the game with a cheap, like relatively low cost decks. That's really nice. I think I would have liked it a lot if I had started with Silver Edge being a thing. Um, and then I haven't played much the format, to be honest. Like I played it when they announced it at first, like when they said it was a new thing. But I haven't jammed the game since I don't know a few months, and I was not super like really enjoying Blitz, to be honest. So young heroes was not my thing, but maybe it was just the format that was not good, and I would like it. Maybe I would like a young heroes format with more balanced cards and also a lower power level, which would make the game last a bit longer than Blitz.
Yeah, yeah. I've been playing a decent amount,
Yeah.
and I didn't like Blitz. Right, I felt
Hmm.
that Blitz was too high variance.
Hmm.
It came down to sometimes the die roll and who was playing first,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was just not so fun to me. And it's kind of like what scares me about Living Legend, to be honest, as well. But playing Silver Age, all of a sudden it feels closer to like, all right, we just showed up with our draft decks, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes like a really good draft deck against another really good draft deck could give you like a really, really fun game. And it
Yeah.
seems to be that feels like you can win with a lot of different heroes so far.
Okay.
I'm sure once everybody starts playing it, like Battle Hardens and stuff, we'll see it kind of sort itself out, and there'll be like 4 or 5 decks at the top, and then there's going to be the definitive bad decks as well. So I'm excited for it. Now, let's flash forward to Worlds 2026, right?
Yeah.
Where it's going to be. Where is it going to be? Let's guess where it's going to be really quick.
It will probably be in Europe, I guess.
All right, France. It's going to be there.
Yeah, France.
A hometown Worlds would be nice. Let's say next year they're like the mixed format is Silver Age and CC.
Mhm.
Would that be something a little bit more exciting? Do you think that's going to be better for the tournament? Or do you just want to see it's always CC and draft?
I think I would like probably Silver Age more than LL.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be nice. Yeah, it would be pretty exciting. But yeah, it depends, of course, of the meta. And I have no idea right now of the Silver Age meta. But yeah, it would be exciting for sure. And we would have a lot of heroes probably playable, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would like that actually. Probably.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see. It would be cool to see. Now, Arthur, we do have some listener questions, if you don't mind answering them. These come from the Buds Discord, which is free for anybody to join. Check it out. It's in the show notes below. First one comes from William from the Table Pit, who asks, they describe the prizes won at Tier 4 events as life-changing. How has Flesh and Blood and your success in Flesh and Blood changed your life?
Well, first of all, it did change my life. Yeah. It allowed me to be full-time competitive player on Flesh and Blood, which would definitely not be able. I wouldn't have been able if I hadn't won that cash prize. And yeah, basically it allowed me to, instead of being to have a normal job. I was engineer in AI, and I just stopped doing that and play card games full time. So changed my life pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice chunk of change.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, next question comes from Sigma, who asks, do you have a pet deck or a rogue hero you work on and really enjoy or identify with, but it just isn't good competitively currently? Or do you just always try to play the best deck?
Well, I always try to play the best deck when I go to a big tournament, which is like a tier 4 or calling. I always try to do at least a very strong deck, if not the best. But I did have a pet deck before. It was Verdance, and I played it when it was not super good at the time. And I really enjoyed like building it and yeah, having fun with it. But now it's one of the best decks, so I don't have any rogue deck anymore, I guess.
Well, that isn't that the dream that your pet deck eventually just becomes the good deck?
Yeah, it was the same with Dromai. It was my pet deck because I just had only this one and it became good.
So, Verdant's arguably one of the better decks. You've had a lot of success with it. We know. Do you expect it to continue its success going into Philadelphia? Because anecdote, it seemed like in my local meta, because if you want a pro quest, you can't play any more pro quests, right? You're qualified. Yeah. And it seemed like all the Verdance players won early. And then all the Singers were left, at the last pro quest. You're like, what the heck is going on here? So is Verdance going to be the deck to beat?
I think it looks like Syndra and Verdance are the two decks to beat and the two most expected decks, I would say. And yeah, I expect Verdance to still be good, even though she will be expected and people are probably going to be taking a bit for it. I think it's probably going to be still one of the strongest picks. Maybe not the best, but still very present and probably also winning quite a bit.
Awesome. I mean, I would expect it. The deck's really good. Light Up the Leaves really just Such a good addition.
Yeah.
I did have another question from Sigma here, who
Uh-huh.
they ask, what underplayed card would you love to sneak into your competitive decks to catch people off
Oh,
guard?
that I have no idea. For example, I'm not a pummel enjoyer. I really like
Okay.
consistency, so I don't like jamming in cards that are sometimes very good and the rest of the time a bit inefficient. Um, if I could play sigils, I would be happy, but I don't know. I don't have any broke cards, to be honest.
That's all right. That's all right. Listen, it's probably for the best. It's probably why you're so good, to be honest. Next question comes from Capolo, who asks, if you were not playing Fab, what would you be doing with your free time?
Mhm. Well, if I wasn't playing Fab, I would have a lot of free time. So I'd probably have to get a job first, and, and then and then I would probably play maybe other card games, to be honest, or just games. For example, I haven't finished Hollow Knight Silksong yet, and I would love to, so I would probably put a lot of time into it. Yeah, that. So find a job and then play Hollow Knight Silksong.
I am stuck on some pretty intense platforming challenges in that game right
Yeah,
now. I'll tell you that. Holy moly. So good, though.
yeah.
Next question comes from Dr. Unks, who asks, do you prefer cards in French or English? Why do you think
Mhm.
French is the only language that remains from the original set of non-English languages?
Um, I think I don't really mind if they're French or English. I probably like English better because it's just easier to sell if I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's more people buying it. And then why do I think it's the one that stuck? Probably because the French community is a bit bigger than the Spanish one or the Italian one. I'm not sure, to be honest. Also, I do think the French in general are not very good at English, and a lot of French people um, find it hard to have their cards in English.
Okay.
So maybe it's that too.
Could be. Could be. Next question comes from Darth Prentice, aka Greg, who asks, while traveling for Flesh and Blood events, where have you gotten the best coffee or tea if you're not a coffee drinker?
Mm. Um, I'm not a very big coffee enjoyer, nor a tea enjoyer.
Oh.
Um,
What is your beverage of
however,
choice then?
it would be maybe hot chocolate. I like hot chocolate.
Very nice. Me
Or more
too.
recently, I've been to Argentina and I've drank mate there, which is nice too.
What
It's
the yerba mate?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
thing.
Uh,
That's nice too.
yeah. All right. Cool. Cool. Oh, another bonus question from Darth is the best book you've read this year, if you are a big reader.
Um, I'm not a big reader, so I could say the best book I've read in the last couple of years maybe would be um, it's a French book called La Horde du Contrevent. I'm not sure what's. I don't think it exists in English because it's really hard to translate. La Horde du Contrevent. But he plays a lot with the words and he invents a lot of words, so probably it would be hard to
Mm,
translate it in English. But it was a sci-fi book about it's in a world where there is a very strong wind that goes in a way, and there is a horde. We are following the 40th horde that goes in the opposite sense of the wind and tries to go back to the source of the wind and to see what's there. It was really, really nice.
oh, sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool.
And if you've played the game Expedition 33,
Oh, okay.
it's inspired by that book
Oh,
a little bit.
the game is inspired by the book. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. I'll have to check it out. I can't read French, but my stepmother
Yeah.
is fluent, so maybe I'll just ask her
Huh.
to help me. Um, who's next? John Bissett. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. How long do you spend on your hair each day? It always looks
Oh.
flawless.
The best trick to do my hair is to not touch them a lot, so I guess not long. I just try to not touch them much, but then I don't know. Sometimes I don't think they look flawless, but thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it looks great on my end, Arthur. But hey, listen, this has been a great episode. I really appreciate you coming on, giving us your time. Excited to, I mean, I'll say hi to you at Philly, but also see you
Yeah.
play. Very cool. Can you please plug anything you'd like to plug for where people can find you if you're posting anything? And yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for the invitation. It was nice to have a chat, and hopefully we'll see each other in Philadelphia for sure. And then plug is like promote or what?
Yeah, promote anything you like to promote. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. There I make a few guys on Metafy if you want to check out. I think my name is Wyss WYSS on Metafy or Twitter. Yeah, I don't have much else to promote.
Cool. Well, you all can continue to find me on Blue Sky at freshbudspod. Check out the Buds Discord. If you're watching on YouTube, give us the old like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you're listening on Spotify or whatever, give it the thumbs up or whatever. And I have another podcast called Fresh Juice I do with my cousin where we talk about indie video games. And
Oh, nice.
that one's weekly as well. And then finally, Patreon. I've been ramping it up. I do a bonus episode every week. We got new Talishar sleeves on there. It's all a lot of fun.
Nice.
Arthur, I like to end every show talking a little bit about food, which I love. And you come from a country well known for their food. Is there any food you'd like to shout out? Although you were just in Argentina, there's great food down there as well.
Yeah, true. Food I like to shout out. Maybe I really like Japanese food. I'm looking forward to Yokohama for that. So maybe karage chicken or ramen. I'm not sure. One of these two.
One of those two? Oh, well, sounds pretty good. Hey, listen, Yokohama's going to be awesome. Excited for everybody going. But with all that, we don't have time for Charmer, but I'm sure we'll get to him eventually. Arthur, thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody, thanks for listening. Stay fresh.